Hello, you beautiful souls of love and light. This is Lady Nenari, Princess of the Sea, Lady of Glencoe, Highlands, Scotland, and welcome to Singing Our Soul Song, episode podcast number 3, Light Language Soul Visions within the threads that connect us. We have a loaded show this evening, so please bear with me. Please let me ken or know hear me. I will put on my reading glasses so I can actually see the comments. Please let me ken or know that you can hear me to make sure that the broadcast is coming through all right. If you can hear me with my sound and all of that, if you can just type in the chat there, just to let me ken. I'm going to turn up the volume here just a bit. Okay, so welcome. And if you can hear me all right, just kind of put in the box under the comments to let me ken that you can hear me. I'm not seeing any comments just as of yet. Let me see. Is there anything coming through? I'm not seeing comments at all at the moment. Okay. Pardon the little bit of technical difficulty. I'm attempting to see if I can somehow, let's see any of your comments because I'm not seeing any live feed. All right, Facebook is being strange this evening. Let's see, maybe I can see them on my phone. Let me have a look. We'll go to well, this is what happens when you're on live. Okay, so 2 comments showing, and now I'm getting to hear myself. That's not what I was looking for. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, good, because I'm not able to see comments unless I hit on my phone, which is not helping me. So I'm unable to see your comments. So give me a moment. Let me see if I can pull it up on, let's see here. Okay, so you can hear me. Okay, good. Hello, Susanna. I see your 2 comments there. Okay, that's good to see. I may have to just refresh my other page. Well, welcome at any rate. So a little bit of housekeeping going on here. So sorry about that. I'm just kind of attempting to sort out why I can't see the comments. What I will try to do is get to see them. Okay, big love, Eric. You've got, you posted. Hello, Eric. Lovely to see you. Okay, so we're kind of sorted. So I'll have to flip back and forth between screens to see comments. So right now I'm going to be free from seeing comments for the moment. But what I want to go ahead and start out with before we even begin this week's episode is a couple of things, housekeeping. One is I'm going to be free from seeing the comments just now because I'm going to bring through what's coming through in channel from source first, the Akashic Records, generally for all of humanity. And then the second reason is because once I'm in channel, it's a little hard to also read the comments at the same time. But the other thing I would like to do is I would like to dedicate this episode to a very dear friend of mine. I have known for several months, unbeknownst to him, I haven't really said anything, but many of you may remember a couple of weeks ago, fortnight ago, when I started with the first broadcast at the end of February, me speaking about my dear friend Michael Carbone and how I used to be on his show for 4.5 years. It has just been recently announced that he has contracted, well, for lack of a better word, it's the C virus. He has liver cancer. And my heart breaks when I hear about that, being that I had cancer, and it was terminal, and I healed from that, and I have not only healed myself, but also have helped many others on the path over many years. I am going to invite you to join me in a prayer circle of love, and let's send him healing and love from the love we are of source energy and the source energy that he is, because right where source is, healing is, and he can fight this, as they say, but instead of fighting it, which kind of goes into what we're going to talk about this before I start doing the readings. Instead of fighting, it's about coming into that vibration of love. And so he can thrive, and I see that vision, and I invite you to hold that vision as well in sending him healing love, the healing love that ye are a source, that he is a source, and wishing him healing, that he will come through this rather than it, unless he chooses to cross over. This said, this parlays into what I'm going to be speaking about this evening. My twin soul and I have been, first of all, let me say first and foremost, thank you to all of you. On behalf of my twin soul and I, we deeply appreciate all of the lovely feedback, that you have been loving our show, that you have been loving the kirtan songs that have been coming through, hymn and channel that we've been singing together, and just the vibration and love frequency that's coming through from the two. We do this show together. He's on the shore in Canada at our home in Vernon, and I'm here in Scotland, yet we are doing this as one, which I've said from the beginning. We've been doing this all of the over 12 years now that we've been together, and shall be in physical at some point soon. So with that said, just wanted to give you a shout out and appreciation to all of you, and to say thank you. Thank you for all your love, all your support, all your amazing comments. And what I want to dive into this evening has to do with that C virus. And I mean my twin soul, Chris Madsen. That C virus that's going around. Some have said in some interesting comments that it's not real. I would say that the fear that's just floating around is not necessary, and it's not real. But I wrote something and posted something yesterday, and I'm free from seeing my actual post, although I will say it has gone viral, literally on all the groups that it was posted on, all the physical people who have posted it, all the zillions of comments I've received as well. So thank you for getting the word out. But for those of you who have not seen my post, I want to read, but then also just kind of give more of an expansion based upon what I channeled in writing yesterday. So this C virus, coronavirus, is giving us a pause to dive deeply into the cause of what the real virus is. And some of you who have seen my Facebook and YouTube videos on this have also seen that I've talked about the viral load in the physical body, as well as the mental body, the emotional body, and connecting more with the soul, connecting with the source of who you are. Okay, so it is giving us a pause to step into the cause of our collective individual fears, our collective and individual fears. Okay, and I'm going to share an experience into me, just in brief. I'm not going to go into loads of detail. As a wee lassie, I was emotionally abused and physically abused as a child, and my mum would often lock me in my room for 14 hours a night with no food, no water, no use of the loo, nothing, until the next morning for school if I just looked at her the wrong way as my punishment. And before that, I was severely beaten. Okay. In those moments, I was self-quarantined. And they had an illness or a virus, but it was the virus of what was on in my family, of the deep wounding that my mum had received as a child, that she was projecting onto me, that she didn't know any better, she didn't can any better. So I was self-isolated loads of my life. So I have come to be okay in my own skin, to understand that being alone is really being all one. And that from there, about deepening our connections. There was something that happened 6 years ago, because of some events related to my twin soul, of something that he is very deeply sorry for, that he caused in my life. But a similar situation happened again for me, in which I was in a forced isolation and went through something similar to what happened to Nelson Mandela, in wrongly being accused and imprisoned. And during that time, I was quarantined, if you will, or isolated, if you will, and it had me really give a chance to go back deeply within, to see what fears were within me and what needed to be healed within me. Now, it also gave me a pause to help those collectively around me at that time. The women who were there, some of them were on the verge of committing suicide. Some of them were on the verge of mental health issues, drugs addiction and whatnot. And I was there to help them collectively of what really mattered. So and this is what I mean by the collective and individual fears and the viral load mentally, emotionally, and physically, and about being alone and being okay in our own skin, and that it's okay to be isolated at some points, yet about deeper connection with people. And here's what I've noticed. I just recently myself personally had to postpone a gathering that I was to have on yesterday. And I'm on the verge of actually getting ready to postpone another one next week, simply because of the fears related to this whole virus that's on. Now, I've also received things on social media and also emails personally from people, and emails from here in the country and whatnot, about things in America have been shut down in terms of like sporting events. Things here have been shut down. I think they were considering shutting down the Olympics at one point. I'm not sure if that's still on. All of these things, these outer events in which thousands gather, I'm going to step on a limb and say the wisdom from source right now is this is a good thing. Now, some of you may be saying, well, what on earth is she on about? Why? If you notice, concerts, sporting events, all of these types of energies, once we get together, what's usually on? Most of the time, people are either partying, they're drinking, they're eating crap food. Again, viral load. One of my dear friends who has the coronavirus, who is in quarantine in Japan right now, he had snuck in to his hospital room in quarantine Pringles. And he's been on about, every time this happens, his blood sugars go up and he's diabetic and all this stuff. Well, he's actually, and he tested again negative once he had tested positive already once. Now, there's the whole false positives and all of that. But the viral load of the shite that he was eating is playing a part of the virus, because what does viruses feed on? They feed on stress, they feed on fear, they feed on crap food, they feed on alcohol, they feed on all of these things that when you go to these outer events, you're not really connecting with people. You're not really becoming one with people. You may be in the same concert, you may be in the same sporting event, you may be in the same room with somebody, but are you really connected with them? Do you really see them as your friend? Or is it just some other? Even people in church, okay, for those of you who are of spiritual background and go to spiritualist church, or religious background and go to church, do you really spend time connecting with the people who are around you in the seats around you? Nay, most people are just, okay, what's in it for me? I'm going there to be connected. I'm going there to see the concert. I'm going there to cheer my team on, rah, 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 right? You're never really connecting with people. Now, there is that energetic vibration that happens, because there's massive, but most of the time, so many people are so unconsciously aware. So really, I feel that this is a pause, and Source is giving me the wisdom that this is really a pause for us to get to the cause of why do we do these gatherings, and get to the source of what really matters, which is our own connection within, coming home within, the way home. The way home is through love. The way home is through love, as in source, as in the master artist, as in infinite consciousness, the greater self, as we ourselves. And then from there, once we remember our connection, our oneness within, with source, then we remember our connection with each other, real connection. You know, just because you're at some sporting event and you're the next body next to you, really looking at somebody maybe across from the restaurant, as I wrote here, and realizing, seeing with real eyes. You can, just like me, this person wants to be loved and wants to love, because that's why we're here, is to love and be loved. This person wants to be seen, wants to be heard, and you can, what? Maybe this person is going through some really hard shite, and I'm just now seeing them across the restaurant, or I'm seeing them in the queue at the supermarket, wherever you happen to be. I also feel that it's giving a pause for people and venues and circumstances and situations to really double check what they've been on about. For instance, the local pub bar down in Aberdeen, who go to the witches market. Every month that I am there, from the beginning that I have come there has never been any hand sanitizer, any washing soaps. They're always out of it in the loo. Okay, and on the bus, the same thing. And I hate using the loo on the bus, but sometimes when you're on a 3.5 hour journey, I have a choice, right? So I've always made a habit of bringing antibacterial wipes or some sort of something I can use as soap and water, right? But this past month, I happened to go into the loo at the bar where we all have our gathering for the witches market upstairs, and there's actually hand soaps in there. First time ever in nearly a year that I've been doing this, right? So I think it's really a good thing that we actually tune into those connections and really take the time to see that, just like ourselves, others around us, and even those we love, we're all just bringing each other home, as walking each other home, as Ram Dass was noted to say. And we're no strangers of each other. It may be somebody next to you in the queue, or it may be somebody next to you in a concert once those resume and whatnot. But we're no strangers. We're all connected by the same vibrational frequency energy, which is source energy, which is love, which is our humanness. We're all made of the same flesh, maybe a different color, maybe have different color eyes. We're all made of that same vibrational frequency. We're all source energy incarnate. And it takes getting in touch with what really matters and really listening, deeply listening in our heart and following our heart, being one with Source's heart. And that's what, if you saw my post, you saw that I had put the post there, that Corona actually means crown. It's the crown chakra, right? And above, which is the Ati chakra, that comes in of source and who we are. This is the true gift of the coronavirus. This is where we're meant to be. We're meant to actually be in this place of coming home, returning into our heart, returning into love. And from being one with source, then our marriage in humanness, our marriage is with source first. And then our marriage in humanness with the one we love, heart, and then our marriage with all of humanity then comes. And I want to touch base on, because there's loads of you who wrote into me with questions for readings tonight, and there were tons of you who are asking about your twin souls and whatnot, and I will be giving those in just a few moments. However, I want to touch base on marriage for just a moment. My twin soul, bless his heart, he's struggled with marriage. Marriage was something of pain from his humanness. From the soul perspective, we're already married, we're already in union in heart and in soul with Source first, and then with one another, and then with all of humanity and all of the cosmos. Yet earthly human marriage he struggled with because he associates it with pain because of what happened in his former marriage. And so he tends to be afraid of that, thinking somehow that's going to happen again. True marriage, and this is the wisdom from Source that I understand that true marriage is. True marriage is actually a confirmation, an affirmation, an appreciation, and a celebration of our love, of our already being in union that we are. And it is a vow that we promise, we vow, and we affirm. And we affirm every moment. It's not just about the wedding day, right? It's the actual marriage, the day-to-day being together. Standing in that heart and coming from that heart of Source. And we promise, we vow, we affirm that we will be free from ever claiming rights to each other or controlling one another. Oftentimes we attempt to control people, trying to make things our way, the way we want them, or somebody has to behave a certain way or do a certain thing, and then I will love you. That's conditional love. That's what we've all, that's the C virus, really. Yeah? Claiming rights as if you own somebody. I understand what it's like to be owned. My former husband was that way. So much so that once my twin soul and I first got together 12 years ago, over 12 years ago now, even though I was separated from my former husband, I was not physically divorced yet because neither one of us had the money to do so. And my former husband used to take my money. I had to hide money to get out of the marriage. But that said, he felt he owned me, that I was his property. And he went so far as to actually email and call my twin soul and demand that he stop speaking to me and that he stops connecting with me because I was his. Once he ended up getting a court of law, my former husband, to side with him, that I could not take the children in a caravan, because here in this country it's allowed. In America, where we allowed, you're considered a horrible mother if you live in a caravan and take your children around, whereas here you're free to do so. He told me, my former husband told me, don't you understand that you're mine and those children are mine and you will never have them? That's possession. My former husband, he attempted to sexually assault me, not once but twice, and once he did, my twin soul felt it. And the chivalrous man that he is, he felt that connection. He felt that union. He felt that love. And force that I have never known before. I was able to push my former husband off of me, grab the phone, and I was able to saw it off into a wardrobe that I could lock myself in there and be safe. And I just got on the phone and I couldn't even say anything. I just started sobbing. And the first words out of my twin soul's mouth was, "What's wrong, baby? Something's wrong. That's why I rang you. What happened?" And I told him, and oh, you could hear, you can, when a man is really angry, they're like, and you can hear they're heaving over the anger. That was him. And he said to me, "I would never do that to you. I would never own you. I would never possess you. So I ken what it's like to be owned and possessed." So for twin souls, for marriage, for union, for true union with Source, Source never owns us, never lays claim to us, and never claims rights to us. We are our own free, sovereign beings, being of love, and we choose consciously in each moment to be in union with Source. Just a moment to be with us in union. And we are to be that with the man or the woman, the divine feminine, divine masculine we love. And with each other. Because that's the greatest virus that's around here because of the fear. And look at loo rolls. People are stealing loo rolls and attempting to do all of this stuff of hoarding and whatnot out for themselves. Sharing, coming from the heart, coming home within. There's plenty enough on this earth. Coming home. The way home is through the heart, is through love. And so with that said, before we get into the questions, I'm going to share with you this week's kirtan satsang song. Just came through my twin soul last evening, and it's called The Way Home. And the lyrics are in, if you look in the description, see the description. In the description are the lyrics, and I invite you to just close your eyes and listen. Listen with your heart and come into your heart. And later on after this broadcast, I will be sure to post the video up of us singing this in kirtan answer, call and answer, onto our One Soul Relationships page. Right now, just listen. Close your eyes and listen and come into your heart.
Right now, she's filled with love, as love flows, breath, simply feels our soul, as gently into the heart, love, it always comes. The heart, the way home, simply shining heaven's light, shining heaven's light. Heaven's light, shining heaven's light, heavenly, filled with heavenly glow, shining like the sun, shining like the sun, like the sun. Within this moment, we feel the love, it always the heart. Shining heaven's light, shining heaven's light, heaven's light, shining heaven's light. Shining like the sun, is heaven, just like sun, shining just like Heaven is within this moment that we can shine so bright that our world is filled with light. As love flows within each breath that sip. It feels way away home. This way. Returning home is the way I'm coming home.
I'm coming home. Coming. So you beautiful souls. I want to look at the comments that I can see just now. Barbara, you're on. Ah, hello. Are you in Naruba on your cruise? I hope all is well for you, that you may get quarantined. Hello, Margaret. Lovely to see you. Hello, Carol. Lovely to see you. If you have put comments in for a reading and I have may seen them, please pardon me for that. I am struggling a little bit with seeing comments this evening. Them in the comments, and I will try my best to get to those. I'm going to get to the ones that had written in first, though. There have been loads of you who have written in, so I will start with those first. And Sarabhi, if I'm saying this right, S, I'm not sure if that's for Serena or whatnot. I'm assuming that's your surname, Sarabhi. She wrote in and she asked about her twin soul. She was asking when will she meet her twin soul and will it work well? So, okay. What is coming through in terms of meeting your twin soul is that you will, but it is going to take some time. There's a few years right now that you're kind of in a limbo per se, but you're in a rebirthing phase. For you right now, it's about getting clear about who you are and tuning into the focus of your energy rather than concentrating on whether it will work well or whence you're going to meet. Leaving the how and the when to source and your Akasha. Your Akasha is showing that it's going to be about a 2-year process. So you will meet, but it is going to take some earthly time for you to come into your own. There's some learning or some studying that you're meant to do in terms of both spiritual work, and then I'm also getting maybe you're going back to school of some sort. It may be an online school at this point for the time being, but you are meant to be doing some studying or studying with it before you actually come into that essence. And I'm just going to say now, generally speaking, for those of you who are looking for your twin soul or wondering if you're going to meet your twin soul, I'm going to specifically address those who have asked that in what their Akasha or Akashic Records is sharing. But one of the things in general wisdom I'd love to give to all of you who are in the twin soul community, who are listening to this or may see this on the podcast later on in archive, is it's nay a matter of going out and seeking for something to somehow give you something that you already have within you. Your twin soul is always within you first. Your connection as one soul in 2 bodies is always within with source first. And from that union, then you be that beacon, that magnetic energy setting the vibrational intonation frequency, especially if you're divine feminine goddess, to bring forth to you, rather than you going out and finding. Okay, it's about magnetic, electromagnetic, magnetic electro vibrational frequency. Okay, who you are being, right? Just like the way home, just like the song says, in who you're being, just simply being that love, it radiates out of you. And as it pours out of you, that's what brings forth your twin soul. Okay, in that mirrored reflection of who you are being. Yeah. Okay, so that said, that came in was from Amisha Ruparel. Pardon me if I'm saying that correctly. I'm not sure. I think the Ruparel is your first name, and your surname may be Amisha, or it's vice versa. Not sure. However, you asked the question, what else do you need to do and how? Okay, so how to heal for you and what's in your Akasha right now, this stems, pardon me, the voice. Okay, so yeah, there was a bit of a hiccup there. Okay, this comes from your voice now being heard, and this was for you in a life in Atlantis. You were actually one of the advocates in Atlantis for stopping the virus, if you will, in terms of what the Atlantean beings were attempting to do. In Atlantis, they were attempting to extract the soul seed from us as Lemurian beings, and also as beings of source consciousness. And that's really kind of the evolution that has been on this earth ever since, is that type of Atlantean energy. The forerunners who actually took a stand for love and for being in source energy consciousness, and you were just like, right, this isn't going to happen. Well, unfortunately, you ended up losing your life in that life. And so you've carried that mutated DNA pattern into this one, which has caused you to be free from believing in yourself or hearing yourself first. Okay, hearing your heart within first. So there's been this veil. So what do you need to do to heal? It's about healing in terms of listening deeply within. Okay, and then following that heart. Okay, so just to give you an example with my twin soul, my own life, he tends to try to trigger me and push my buttons. Okay, and I've usually been pretty successful of just sort of moving through that. But that event that happened 6 years ago, it was something that was very traumatizing. It was something I needed to heal from within, that you've been dealing with, that you have on. And so I would often get triggered by him and the things that he would say and the things that he would do and things of that nature. And I had to learn to become more of that stable focus again, like I used to be before that happened, right? And so I had to come back around full circle to healing that. And so one of the things that is most important for you, Amisha, is about being that stable focus vibration. Okay, in terms of healing naysayers in your mind. Okay, it's not just really the people that are out there who have been having a go at you. It's what's going on in here, in your mind, your monkey mind, all those mind chatters. And so how to heal that is actually to be the opposite. Okay, so like the monkey mind of my twin soul was mirroring, he would say things like I was delusional, or what have you, and he may meant it in that sense, but he was basically being the reflection of any hesitation that was because of what happened of these events, right, of this event that had happened. And so I had to come into the opposite vibration of saying, right, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm staying in the focus of our union and our love, the solution. Because once you're in your heart consciousness, rather than in the monkey mind brain, Amisha, and this is your soul agreement of your life lesson, or soul remembering to be remembered, your life lesson to learn, is that once you believe that, or you can that, or know that heart so strongly from source, it shifts everything else out of focus. Okay, all that monkey mind chatter just, because you're singularly focused in the heart. Okay, and then the solutions from that arise. So this is the deeper healing work. If you'd like to do more of a one-to-one session with me, message me and I'll be happy to do that. Okay, so Yogita, she messaged in and said, I was in a brief relationship with who I was told is my twin soul. He broke. I think she meant to write he broke up on the 10th, which was a couple days ago. Is he? If so, when? And if nay, my twin soul, then am I going to meet him ever? And when? Thank you. Okay. So in your heart, this show is all about the heart. All about the heart of Source, all about our own heart being one with Source. The Father and I are one. In your heart, Yogita, you know, that is your twin soul. Okay. And it's nay about an earthly relationship of trying to get something. Okay. Quote unquote broke up with you, but you can't break up with your twin soul. Okay. Believe me, I've tried. So is my twin soul. I could tell you over the last over 12 years that how many times back and forth we have both said, oh, farewell. I even the first time after 6 months, I had said goodbye. And do you ken what he wrote back to me? There are no goodbyes in love. Okay. And he would say things to me like, we can't be broken up. Love can't be broken. Yeah. Things of that nature. Right. So he can't break up with you. You are the same soul. Okay, you're the same soul in two bodies, so it's like breathing. You can I break that? Now you also have a soul agreement to be together in this. This is your last incarnation. You are part of the second wave of twin solars, Yogita. And the second wave of twin solars are getting twin souls are getting together younger. So you're younger than, say, my twin soul and I. My twin soul is 66, and I'm just a few years younger. You're much younger. And so when are you going to come back together in physical union? It's going to take some time, and here's why. Both of you are in this push-pull dynamic, which is very common with twin soul. The reason he quote-unquote broke up with you is very similar to what my twin soul would do with me in mirroring my hesitation. There's actually hesitation and unhealed wounds within you, beautiful soul, and there is also with him. Okay, no matter, it's not just you, but there's more of the pushing away dynamic from you that you're unconsciously aware of, which is subconscious programming of the mind of some triggers and wounds from some trauma in your childhood in this life, and also in a few other lives related particularly to your twin soul, that you and your twin soul have a soul agreement to sort through before you will come back together in physical union. Okay, so there's some deeper healing work that's meant to be done there, and once that's done, then you will come into union more physically. So this parlays into the next one. Swapna. That's all I'm going to say is Swapna. I can't say the first name if that's your first name. I'm not sure which one it is. Just kind of reading off of here. But this goes right into the next question. The next question that was written in is, you're facing a push-pull dynamic right now. You're the chaser. When will you get to meet him? Now, I'm going to say this in mentoring, and then I'll go into your Akasha. But in mentoring, I will say to you, once you stop chasing. Okay? That may seem like a very generic statement, but it's very true. Okay? The whole thing with the runner-chaser dynamic that happens in twin soul union is actually you running and chasing after you. Okay? And you may blame it on the other person. Lord knows I've done that with my twin soul and being guilty of that over the last 12 years, not so much recently, but yeah. And my twin soul has done the same with me. Okay, Chris has done the same with me. Both done that to each other. But you may feel that ye are the chaser, Swapna, but here in your Akasha, what's being shown is that your form of chasing is actually another form of running away. Okay? Your soul agreement is to sort out why you feel you have to chase. What are you afraid of losing? You can lose that of what's yours to begin with. Your twin soul is yours in terms of a possession. Goes back to what I shared earlier on in this broadcast. Okay. Yet at the same moment, your twin soul is yours because he is you. You are him. Okay. You are one. You're one soul in two bodies. Okay, so any chasing that you're doing is actually something that you're running away from, and you're attempting to chase outside of him, and you're with him, chasing him down, when it's actually what you have been coming to terms with in here. Now, that soul agreement actually has to do with some trauma. There was something that happened to you as a teenager. Okay, now it may have been a repeat of a trigger from something earlier in your life, this life, but actually, this is from when you were a teenager, and then this was also from your life in Egypt. You have a life in Egypt just after Christ passed away, if you will, or ascended into heaven. And in that life in Egypt, you were actually running away from the ability to utilize your gifts to tune in more powerfully, heartfully. Okay, and the reason is that you were being chased. Okay, you had these gifts. You had the gift of sight. Okay, sight in physical eye, but soul eye, seeing. And so you were sought after, you were chased after, and so you actually were running away from your gifts. And so right now your soul agreement is to sort out why you are running away from your gifts spiritually, soulfully, and then also stopping chasing your twin. Okay, and then once you're in that stable vibrational frequency, he'll then come to you. Okay, because here's the thing, the greatest turn off to a divine masculine man, whether it's a twin soul or nay a twin soul, is a needy woman. Okay, if ye are coming from a place of neediness, oh my God, the greatest turn off to a man. Okay, a divine masculine man, if he is anywhere in his divine masculine, he is going to fancy a woman who's able to stand in her own right and shine the goddess light that she is. That's what brings him towards her. Okay, right now you're underneath a pile of rubble there, Swapna. Okay, and you've been hiding, right? Because you've been running away. So you're now shining your full goddess. So frankly, you've now given him anything to want to come to. No, nay offense. Okay, if you fancy one on that, I can do in a session. We have a couple more, and then I'll look at the comments. We'll probably run over a little bit more than an hour at this time, but that's all right. Verona. Okay, Verona, you messaged in and you said only 2 months with your twin, and you met him on your birthday last year, nearly a year gone. Well, happy birthday almost. What blocks do you have? Are you close to reunion? Okay, so the blocks for you in your Akasha from, it's really more about kind of like the last one that I just did, but in a different way. You've now stepped into your goddessness in terms of actually getting out there with your gifts. Okay, whereas the one before, her Akasha is about hiding from her gifts. You've just simply been in self-doubt. You ken that your gifts are there, and you've just made forth with them. Okay, so that's really your block. And your other block is that you've been listening. There's somebody or somebodies in your life that you've been listening to, that have been giving you the monkey mind, that has been activating your monkey mind. Okay, this goes to a life in what we would now call the Thailand region. Okay, but in that life it was a different continent, if you will, all on its own, actually, rather. And you were kind of like the leader of the tribe in that life, and everybody would come to you with advice and tell you what to do instead of you leading the country. You were a country leader, and you were a country princess, goddess, kind of advisor, if you will, for the country. And so you were listening to the mind chatter of everybody else. And so there is for sure one person I'm seeing, but if nay, there's actually several of them that are giving you soul that are not true. Things like, oh, are you sure he's your twin? Or are you sure you want to really be with him? Or, oh, really, you should go do this. You should go have fun. You should do this. You should do that. Instead of you stepping into the leader you are. Okay, so it's about coming into your spiritual gifts and stepping into the leader ye are. And that's block number one. And number two is getting rid of those naysayers, which is really your monkey mind talking to you from the outer realm. But nonetheless, that's what's coming through for you. Okay. You wrote in, Maggie Margaret, you wrote in, and first you said you enjoyed last week's show so much. Thank you. I deeply appreciate that, beautiful goddess. And you're welcome for answering your question last week. I will answer your question now. You said you've recently moved location and you're asking about your career path. Which one is brighter at this time for you? As you're sure. Oh boy, did you listen to the rest of this broadcast early on? I invite you to go back and listen to it in the podcast. Listen to your heart. Okay, listen to your heart. Listen within. Source is saying you know exactly which path is the brighter one. Okay, right now the paths that I'm being shown to, for you is there's one path that is kind of the have to, the should, the one that everybody says or your monkey mind is saying that you should go on or you should do, that would be the best one to do. Okay, in source energy, in your soul, in your akasha even, your soul agreement is never meant to be of shoulds. Now this is general for everybody, but for you specifically, your specific soul agreement in this life is need to be going with shoulds or have tos. That's about control. That's about being owned, and to be free in your heart, be free in the mind, and then move into the heart and be free in mind and heart as one with the soul, because the heart is the overlay for our soul and infinite consciousness. Okay. To be free is to actually choose freely. Choose freely from your soul and your akasha and path. The other one that sets your heart on fire, yeah, with the love of source that is just saying, I, yes, 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 yeah, that's the one. Okay, so there you go. All right, so Stephanie Lee, you wrote in and said, is the man who you believe is your twin soul really your twin soul? Well, I'm going to first answer this by saying there is no any such thing as belief. Inner knowing, okay, as we say here in Scots language, kenning, knowing. It is an inner knowing from within your heart of your soul. It's a soul recognition. Twin soul union is a soul-based connection first and foremost, okay, and then it comes into physical form. So your soul kens this, your soul knows this. Now looking at your akasha, the man who you ken or know is your twin soul, is indeed your twin soul. Okay, that said, I'm going to elaborate for you beyond what you just asked in your question, and also say that this is now your last incarnation. Okay, you have 3 more incarnations. You've been here on this earth 1,496 lives. You have 3 more. Okay, so it would be 1499 would be your last incarnation. So because this is free from being your last incarnation, you are meant to be with your twin soul, but your name meant long in this life. Now you may still continue to be friends or best friends or be in communication with one another, but in terms of physical union or anything of that nature related to a marriage or anything of that nature, you actually have a near twin who's coming in, and your twin soul has a near twin that's coming in that you will end up being with in this life. Okay, you still have a mission and purpose for humanity. You're part of the 3rd wave of twin souls this planet in this time, and this is why, because you're going to be laying the foundation together, the 2 of you, you and your twin soul, for what is to come in the next 3 lives that you have together, and carrying on the legacy of like the first wavers like myself and my twin soul, and others who are the 1st and 2nd wavers of twin souls. Okay, so now that said, I'm going to attempt to look and see if there was any comments that came through. Okay, the one that is showing right now, a penny, oh bless your heart. I agree. You say you're so right, meaning me, that sometimes we do try too hard. Sometimes we try too hard in terms of forcing things. Okay, love is never meant to be forced. It's meant to be a flow. It's meant to be from the heart. It's never meant to be manipulated. There's never meant to be an effort. Putting forth effort and trying too hard and forcing things. That's nae love. It's always meant to be in a flow. If you are putting forth too much effort into something, that means you're trying to manipulate and trying to make something happen. That's nae meant to be how the universe works. The universe goes in a flow. That's how you're meant to be, is in a flow. Okay. Mininata Alexandra. Oh, sorry, Alexandra. Sorry, I can never say your surname. Pardon me for that. Hola, you say hola. Any guidance, please? Okay, so the guidance that's coming through for you just now, beautiful Alexandra, is hold on tight. Okay, the universe as a whole is on a mysterious ride. By the way, I forgot to say to everybody, happy Friday the 13th. Totally forgot about that. Energy, that's twice I've forgotten this week. It's Friday the 13th. It's beautiful energy. Yeah. You sent me a question in private message. You did? Ooh. I would have to see. Hold on, give me a moment. I probably said that I would include it, and I may have forgotten to copy and paste it. Give me just a moment here. This is what happens when it's live. Private message. Okay, private message on Facebook. Beautiful. I never received it. Okay, it's nae showing here. If you sent it to me via email, my email is shut at the present moment. So if you can post it here, that I do remember you. So just post the question and then I can go further into what I just started to. But hold on. Oh, you forgot. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, good. All right, fair enough. Let me then continue with what's coming through then for you. So hold on tight. The universe right now is going through huge transformation. We on Earth are going through a huge transformation, right? But for you personally, you're going through a huge transformation. Okay, so for you right now, this is about getting rid of the old and coming into. We had the earthly new year, right? In January. This is your earthly new year now. Okay, you're more in a timing with the spring. This is a rebirth for you. So you may be feeling a bit I don't want to say depressed, but a bit down, a bit sad, a bit not sure where to go. It's because you're in this limbo stage of the nothingness, getting ready to rebirth. Okay, and it's very important because next month we're going into Easter, and that's very important in terms of the rebirthing of Christ consciousness. Okay, and so you're letting go of what no longer serves you, and this includes there's someone in your life right now who is a former person, I guess, in your life, former relationship, okay, in that respect, and you're meant to let him go. There has been some doubt in your mind as you sit in this like nothingness of the womb, and there's been some doubt in your mind as to whether he is actually like a near twin or a twin soul or something of that nature. And I'm not able to see any comments just yet, so bear with me. I'm just going to bring through whatever's coming through here for you. But he was near your twin soul. He was what is can or known as a catalyst for you. Okay, and this is why you're kind of in that limbo stage of getting ready to rebirth. He kind of left you in that sense of WTF, for lack of a better word. Okay, yourself. He had you questioning your gifts, your life, and just everything in general. Okay. And so you're kind of in that nothingness of, I done again. I don't know what to do. Source, show me. Okay. And so this is kind of like a DNS or a dark night of the soul for you. And this is a repeat of something that happened to you in another life. Okay. In which you actually died at birth. Okay. And so you were never able to give yourself, your soul, a chance to physically birth itself. List of this former relationship, former husband, or what have you, he actually was there to help you, propel you into rebirthing yourself. Okay. And this is going to actually bring you into your twin. Okay. It's going to take probably an earthly time, about a year or year and a half, because there's deeper inner work in the womb for you to do related to this birth trauma of being being birthed in this life, basically. Nay, in this life here, but the life that's coming through the strongest right now. This was like you were stillbirth, born dead from an earthly perspective. And so this is about you going into that womb phase and just sitting and being in that and waiting for that creation to come forth in springing forth in wellingness in your heart. Okay. If you care for me to elaborate a little bit more, I can do more of a one-to-one session with you at a later time on that. Now, let me see if any other comments are coming through that I can see. Let's see. I'll try to refresh the page because none of the comments are coming through. Right. Okay, nothing else is coming through. So if I missed somebody's question, I really apologize. I did try to get to everybody that I could. And my clip is just killing me. All right, so that is us for the evening. Thank you. Oh, hold on a minute. Is that not coming through? I thought the comments were coming through. It says comments, but I can't read them. At any rate, bless you, love all of you, and thank you so much for your support. As always, I actually do this live each Friday evening, 10 p.m. Scotland time, Universal time. Here's the thing, though, with the time change, those in America and Canada have done the time shift. We have not done so. So you are actually an hour ahead. So it would be 3 o'clock Pacific time, and it would be 6 o'clock Eastern time on the Friday evening until March 29th. Okay, we do our daylight savings time on the 29th. Okay, so the following week after that, we'll be back on normal schedule, quote unquote, whatever normal is. Okay, but as always, I do this free. If you feel in your heart, in the unwillingness in your heart, in coming home, the way home to Source, to give a love offering donation, in the description here for this evening's broadcast, my website, in which you can give a love offering donation for what you received this evening. It helps me to continue to doing this of what I give to all of you. If you fancy one-to-one session with me, please message me privately on Facebook or an email, nenari@diamondlady.net. And as always, thank you to every one of you who are seeing this now live and who will see it in the podcast archives. I love each one and every one of you. Every one of you. Thank you to my beautiful twin soul, Chris Madsen, for his amazing music and message of love, for allowing me to share our message and love of the music and message of love together in union, for the music that we create together soulfully, that you have the rights to. And I love you so, so deeply, my love. My dearest beloved sweet Chibiro, Mogarai, Agarai, Niakul, Milish Chibidur, as we say in Scots Gaelic. Love each and every one of you. And until next Friday, I will see you again, where we'll sing our soul song together. Espada.